everyone. Welcome to another Lunch and Learn webinar with WhyMaker. We are so excited to have you here with us today. My name is Alejandra, and I'll be your host. Today, we are thrilled to spotlight one of our groundbreaking partners, Kai's Education, an innovative ed tech company that blends mixed reality robotics, coding, and collaborative STEM learning for students in grades K to 10. Kai's Education helps teachers bring computing and problem solving to life with tools like KaiBot and Kai's Clan, a highly accessible coding robot that works screen-free and or with advanced programming languages, like using programs like KaiLab and Kainundrum, immersive environments where students can program robots, exploit AR and VR spaces, and tackle real-world challenges together. Today, we are honored to be joined by Ronald, founder of Kai's Education. Thank you so much for being here with us today. We are very excited to learn more about your mission, your products, and how your tools are helping educators engage students in inclusive, collaborative STEM and coding experiences across the country. Quick note before we begin. We will have time for a Q&A session at the end of the presentation, so please feel free to drop your questions in the chat as we go. Without further ado, Ronald, the floor is all yours.
Robert, so what inspired you?
You know what? When I was in the classroom and being partial half blind, also having ADHD in that really excluded me from learning. So, I was the naughty kid in the class, put in the corner, those kids. And so, when growing up, I'm like, hey, how do we include all children? No matter what disabilities or what problems I still have, it doesn't really matter. It's like, how do we include all kids? So I wanted to make a product that prepares kids for the future. That's looking in the crystal ball. And about 6 years ago, I came across this thing called AI. And I saw that it was going to have immense changes in workplace and careers. So I started developing something to create logical thinking in young people's minds.
And I think we are so, we're in this amazing world at the moment with AI. But I think one of the biggest things is we're in this 10-second economy. We call it our 10-second economy. And what it means is, students, teachers, all of us, we can just ask the question and the answer's there. We can just scroll through. If we don't like this, we tap to the next one. So, our attention span is only like 10 seconds long. But what we lose is really that logic, that problem solving, that critical thinking. And I think we need to take a couple of steps back to see how are we going to now help students really get that balance back of, yes, we are in this 10-second, we're not going to change that, but we also need to make sure we can ask the questions and really get those answers. And I think being on the screen has been a really big problem. And we saw more and more districts and schools that saying screen free. And that is where KaiBot comes in.
And I had a teacher the other day say, why do we need to teach coding when AI can do it? I mean, like, well, we don't need to learn English. We don't need to learn languages. We don't need to do math because AI can do that far better than we can. Sometimes there's a lot of hallucinations. It feels like I'm on a drunken brawl through a pub sometimes when I ask the AI and it gives me some weird answers. But I think it's bringing it back, like you said, bringing it back to a piece of paper and doing some problem solving, having bugs, having issues like how do I solve this? Oh, geez, I have to think about this. I just can't use an AI bot, or I can't go on TikTok and get my 10-second dopamine hit. So it's bringing the problem solving back, which I love.
Okay, so do you want to show what KaiBot is all about?
Well, you've got Literacy Kitchen and Market Math there.
Ah, these are all the add-ons. So obviously we've got a whole classroom pack of these Kaibots that you can purchase. And then there's these add-ons. So because we this really progressional platform where you can go anyway from kindergarten all the way actually to grade 8, you can just use the blue tiles. And then you have all these add-ons. And one of them is literacy math, which we very cross-curricular. One is a market math. So we've got a very strong focus on math, literacy, and then we've also got a new one out there. But let's cross over and Bruce.
Can you stop doing your
Should I stop the sharing?
Screen share, and then we can get a big camera on this. Here we go. Okay. And if we could get a spotlight on the video, please, if you can, in Zoomy. I don't know if that's possible.
There we go.
And there we go. Okay, so okay, we've got Kaibot, but before we start with any robots, we've got to have the lesson plans. So we've got all these great resources created by teachers on how to do it. So there's a lot of support there. We've also got our Math in Action program. This is designed by Heidi Williams.
Yep.
From
Well, she started this actually at the University of Wisconsin, and now she's at Montana. And this is a Math in Action program, which is really aimed at math teachers. So it is not coming from the computer science point of view. We really look at computational thinking and how that is being applied to in the math curriculum.
Okay, so first about what we're going to do is we're going to do just a basic problem, yeah? And we've got these blue magnetic tiles, and what's really good is they just snap together. So these are compatible with your classroom resources that you've probably already got. These are the mag tiles, so you can build mazes with these and, just have reconstruction. So that's quite fun. Right, so we've got these magnetic tiles, and we're going to do a little bit of basic math because this would be for K through to grades.
Well, K to 5.
K to 5,
yeah,
but we do have Math in Action for this book, and that will cover some of these examples. Right, so the first thing we have Kaibot, and with Kaibot, it's quite unique in that we have these coding cards. Now, a lot of the cards have brackets on them, and you'll see there's an open and close bracket over here. And when you scan Kaibot on the cards, you actually see it come up on the screen. And look, it's got Lego or brick compatible, so you can put your little Lego characters on there as well. So you're just tapping Kaibot on the cards, and it scans them.
And it looks like that card has got different languages.
Oh, I don't know if the camera is going to focus that close, but yes, it has. Can you see it there? Spanish and a very special language.
Tirio. That is our New Zealand native language. So if there's any Spanish speaking, you can now also have all the cards as in Spanish, and it does support it on a device as well, where it can speak back, read the cards to you. But for the moment, we're going to focus really on that screen free. We hear every single day more and more districts are saying we want to do screen free. Okay, Bruce, you're going to move forward 3 tiles.
Okay, so I've got the cat catbot has to move to tile number 4 here. So obviously we say to the kids, okay, how far is it? Okay, that's 4, right? So, well, we've got 4 tiles, but what number is it going to end up on if I go forward 3? So when we have these cards, we've got like a green asterisk on it. And that means we can add a number card to it, to the program. So this is programming. So we took Python text-based coding and we broke that down into code. So tap the run card, place KaiBot down. Okay, so that's relatively easy. I think Renal would be able to do this.
So with kindergarten, we really want to focus on that forward, the backwards, the left, right, and probably numbers 1 to 20. So then when we start now looking at probably grade 2, grade 3, we start introducing a loop.
Okay, so let's look at loops. Okay, so if we wanted to do this, why wouldn't we just do a loop forward? And here what we've got again is our friendly little bracket. So when you open the door, you close the door. Now, if I forget that loop end card and I tap my cards, I get a bug alert. So this is the problem solving that's happening. The kids are figuring out, oh, it says I'm missing a number card. Oh, okay, well, that's where my bug was. Okay, I need to repeat 3 times, moving forward once. Okay, and let's tap that again. So forward, end program. Oh, bug alert again. Missing end loop card. So KaiBot is actually letting the student fail by discovery, and then they constantly adding onto their learning.
And I think one of the really main thing is the perseverance. We've seen so many schools, teachers send in some videos and things, and it's that persistency. It's that, the determination on their faces of these students really want to get it right and really want to be able to be successful. So when they see there's a bug, they're now starting to look and really fix it themselves. So that looks pretty easy to me, Bruce. And
Yeah.
then obviously we've got tiles 1 to 60. And if you carry on like this, we'll be out the door with the tiles by the time you finish.
Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some basic math now, right? So here we've got loop 2. I've added an extra tile, so we've got 5 tiles. So my question to you, Renal, is if I have if I can find another 2 card, which is there. So if I've got forward 2, repeat 2, and forward 2, how do you work out? And I'm going to start the tile. Going to give you a tricky one. I'm going to start the tile on 5, and I'm going to go backwards. What tile number is it going to end up on?
Well, you did only test me for kindergarten, so let's see. This is probably a grade 3 or 4, or maybe for me it's a grade 8. But I think if you're going to go and loop it twice and then go, that is 2 plus 2, that's 4. So it should end 5 minus 4 should end on 1.
What? Okay, so let's just break what Renal said, because I didn't understand that. Okay, so we're going to repeat twice, and then we're going to do this little section twice as well. So we're going to go forward twice, and we're going to go forward twice again because we're repeating that. Okay, well, 2 times 2 is 4, and that gives you the answer. But now, yes, you've got to subtract 4 away from 5.
You can also go backwards.
Well, you would have a hard time with the forwards card. But yes, 4 away from 5 is 1, and therefore you would end up on 1. So you can really expand these tiles and grow on them.
Oh, that's right. And I think that's really good. Okay, so, and I can see we're not going to get any, this is not a KaiBot 101. We need to get through to all of our others. So now you would have seen we've also got Literacy Kitchen, and that's where we look at the phonics. And for example, do you want to just lay down your literacy, or do you want to just look at the cards? What do you want to do, Bruce?
Lay down my literacy.
The tiles. Where's the tiles?
They're not here. That's where they
Okay, that's really, really helpful. Okay. Let me share again. This is 5 o'clock in the morning is a little bit too early for us to think here. But let's do this. So we are back on our PowerPoint. So as you can see here, Literacy Kitchen, and we have these questions. So there'll be phonics and there's blending and spelling. And then with the math one, there's also the subtraction, which is really, really good. Right, the next one. This is where we're really excited. As we are now, we have just launched our new social emotional skills interactive board game. And this is what I want Bruce to really build for us, because this is super, super exciting. So this has been aligned to the Castle framework, and it has got a little bit of coding at the back, but it is about asking questions. We were talking about this 10-second economy, and now it's really, really so important for our students to be able to communicate with each other and ask questions. And this is where we've seen a huge engagement with neurodiverse students. This hands-on tactile learning is really helpful when students that's maybe on the spectrum doesn't want to participate, or they think they're always right, or hey, I'm not quite sure, I don't have a lot of confidence. So this can be played collaboratively or competitively. And as you will see here, it's got spell cards, it's got a little comic book, which is super, super cool. This is our little dragon, and it's called Dragon of Disengagement. So you have to slay the dragon. And this was actually inspired by one of the teachers in Heather Brown and Brett Salakis. And it's on the dyslexic font, and it's really, really awesome little book. But the mission is basically you have to code your way around the island, and then you help to the dragon to rediscover himself. So we're going to make even bad dragons good dragons, because I'm a big, big dragon fan. Right, so if I cross over, Bruce, and stop sharing. There we go. Wow.
Well, there we go. What a scenery change. Okay, so we've got our board game here again. So these are magnetic tiles. Kybot drives on it autonomously. So these are Kybot's great because you can just use it tabletop, right? You don't need to worry about it running off the table. And now, Renelle, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to shuffle a card. I'm going to pick a random card. So we've got all these different. We've got 5 categories of these cards. So self-management, responsible decision-making, responsible building, self-awareness, and social awareness. So here is your first question. Drum roll, please.
Okay. Someone has recently moved into the house right next to yours. What could you do to help them feel welcome? Okay. What's the answers, Bruce?
Invite them to my house, ignore them, go over and introduce myself, go with a trusted adult to bring them a small welcoming gift like cookies.
Oh, I remember my mom, when I grew up, she would always go, let's go meet the neighbors. And then we had to take some cookies. So I'm going to go with number 4.
I would, what would I would go over and introduce myself. So that would be my answer. Okay.
But before you do that, you have to now code your way to the...
okay. You're gonna code your way from the coin. So you've got coin number 4, and that matches to the mat. We're gonna start over here, and we've got to look for a coin 4. Okay, what have I?
Just here at the bottom, right here.
Oh, right in front of us.
Okay, so can you code that for me? So now we're going to use exactly the same coding cards that you had with your previous one. And we're going to go program start. Just move your camera down slightly, Bruce. We're going to go forward 4. And I'm very lucky. I'm not going to get past any of those big purple cubes because that is the hex cards.
So tap run, place it on mat.
So we learn a little bit of coding, and it's just, instead of just moving forward, we just do a little bit of coding. Okay,
I have arrived at the island.
Okay, so how many points did I get? Well, you don't have any points for the dragon. Hold on.
No. So you got 30 points and I got 20, but we'll just count your 30 points. So what that means now is on this board game, the dragon has 2 shields, and the game entails basically breaking down the dragon's shields and breaking down his distraction shields and taking away points. So Renal got 40 points, so you would take 4 tokens away from that.
Which means I'm the winner.
Automatically. But so you can play a very quick game, or you can play quite a long game. So you can have this game last for about 30 minutes. 4 students, 2 robots playing collaboratively.
Yeah, so there's 50 cards, so it's really bringing the conversation. And what I like, for example, also is, so now maybe in the other group there was always a Bruce. You always have a Bruce in the group, and he just wanted to go over by himself, go and play with the neighbors, which it's not a good thing. So what was the answers on the back of that card?
This guy over here. Okay, so
I chose number 4.
You chose number 4. Okay, a great way to make a new neighbor feel welcome is to bring them a small gift with a trusted adult, like a plate of fresh cookies or friendly handwritten card. Wow, that's lovely. I should have chosen that one. But I chose number 3, which was go over and introduce myself. This is a nice thing to do and can take a lot of courage, but going alone to introduce yourself to a stranger can be dangerous. It is best to take a trusted adult with you. Oh, I'm going to have to hold your hand next time we go and take cookies.
Yeah. So now, because I have got 30 points, I think I got 30 points, you would take your 30 tokens off, and then you carry on playing until there's no tokens left. And then that can be the end of the game. So now once you finish it, there's the dragon in the middle. You have to then go and slay the dragon, and we have got all these coding card challenges, and each of these cards have got a lesson plan. So when you go onto our portal, there will be lesson plans. And let me tell you, you can bring any gifted students. You can even bring your high school students to come and play these coding card challenges, because they're really, really challenging, the difficult ones. So this game, you can play it in the library. We have guidance teachers that talk about it. So that's really good. Okay, Bruce, back to the share. Okay. Right. Okay, so our lesson portal is very simple. It is at learn.kaiseducation.com. You get your KaiBot lessons, you get your KaiLab lessons, which we are going to cross over soon, and all the math lessons are there as well.
And there are no subscriptions.
Oh, yes, that's right. That is why districts love us, because instead of just having, the subscription year after year, and they don't really get extra value, what we do is we have these add-ons. So, if you want the Dragon game, that's about $180. And you've already got your KaiBots because you would have purchased that with a classroom pack. And now you just can carry on and just have these add-ons, and it's new content. Now, Bruce, this next slide, Durango case study. This has been an amazing case study for us. So Durango in Colorado, they have actually joined forces with us in a partnership. They bought lots of KaiBots, and they go, okay, now what are we going to do with it? Are we doing this in the computer science room? And we're like, no, let's try it with the math teachers. So we got about, I think it was about 8 math teachers. and they all participated in a sort of case study. We tested the students before they started, and we had some amazing feedback. And you can actually download this case study and share that with your tech coaches, share that with your superintendent, because this will show you really the depth that Kybot goes into. And we had a student that said, I never knew math was this easy. And another kid said, robotics? I love robots, and now I'm also learning about math. So, you know, that cross-curricular is very powerful, that you can have it in the library, you can have it in the math class, you can have it when you do your reading. And I think even with this Durango guys, what I loved, they had it in the geography class. Geography, that doesn't sound right. Geography class. And they built the sort of the way Colorado is the whole state. And then they had to move from each little area and say, what is the highlight of the area? So hopefully they've gone to Denver. Hopefully they've gone to Boulder. I know one of our very, very awesome people, they live in, I think it's Buena Vista. So yeah, they just drove around on their tiles to all these different places, which is really, really cool. Okay, Bruce, I'm going to ask you, or should I go? No, I will ask you to pop over and please change the map to
let me
Kai
get
Lab.
that sorted.
So Kai Lab is our grade 5 to 10 resource for schools. And really where we want to focus here is on that CTE. How do we get students ready for different careers? So they've now learned all about the foundations of computer science when they've used Kybot, because Kybot even got variables and operators. So it gets really advanced. You can also go and add a device. So it doesn't just need to be screen free. You can even then go on to encode in Blockly and in Python. So it has really got that progression. But once they finish with that, probably grade 5, we go, okay, what's next? So the next thing is our all-in-one STEM toolbox, which is Kylab. This is where we now introduce IoT. So it's got about 28 sensors. You've got a water pump, so you can do smart gardens. There's a warehouse. We were actually talking yesterday to a district where they want to bring it into their CTE class for autonomous warehousing. Lots of manufacturing happening. And they wanted to use that and teach the High Lab. Now, what Bruce is going to do for us is water cycles. So the water cycle, I'm going to show you the lesson plan as well. And then obviously we've got AR and VR as well. Bruce is breaking down the office here. We've got AR and VR. So if you've got a Meta Quest headset, you can actually go into your Mars world, or you can sit in your warehouse or actually on your water cycle. So it's project-based learning. It's those based missions. And again, I think the biggest attraction is the collaboration. So we don't like having a student just work with their own robot and just sort of code their own robot. We love sharing, getting everybody involved. So especially with Kai Lab, it is about collaboration. Chris, you're making a lot of noise here. Right. I'm going to stop. No, I'm not going to stop sharing. I'm just going to switch over to this thing, and I think that's going to work. This is the lesson plan. So our water cycle is Project Livestream. So it introduces the water cycle mat, the grades. Now we've got all the TEAC standards. It's all aligned here. The link for all the water cycle QR codes, because Bruce is going to show that. There's the mat. So you've got all the different things is laid out here. And this is all about gamification. So it's going to give you a 3D. All the instructions is here. There, you need to keep this household going, and you don't need to kill the animals. This is a real challenge. So we talk about what the pipes, the lake, the different kind of waters that comes into the lake. What is wastewater? farming, agriculture, water filtration, the sewage treatment. So let's talk about evaporation. The whole lesson plan is already there for you that you can go, and it's all about getting clean water. And I think, especially in Texas, this is really, really good to be able to look, how can we actually save water and how can we have it as long as possible. Okay, Bruce is ready. Now, before Bruce starts, any questions? If you've got questions, please put it in the chat. Otherwise, just reach out, and Bruce is busy sharing his KaiLab. And what I love about KaiLab is this is all about your zip code. So let's see if Bruce is loading this. Don't know what it's doing.
We have a question.
Yes.
The question is, do your lesson plans align to TEKS, TEKS?
Yes, the TEK standards. Our lesson plans are all aligned with the TEK standards. So when you actually go to the top of the lesson, you will see it will say the standards, and you can just click. So even if you're in California, Florida, all the lessons are there. So I'm just trying to see what Bruce is doing. So the lessons are all there. If you just click on it here, they will see the standards. So there's all your TEK standards as well. And the CS standards are there. Okay, Bruce. How are we doing with all the lesson plans? He's just scrolling through.
Okay, so let me just get to the mat.
We have another question from Amanda. She says, I may have missed it, but I see block coding. Do students have access to use any other programming languages?
So you want to answer that?
With KaiBot, we can do screen free with coding cards. With KaiBot, we can also convert the coding cards into text-based coding or block-based coding. And with KaiLab, we can do Python and block-based coding. And we have a translator inside KaiLab that will translate between blocks and Python. And then the teacher can actually control that classroom and say, hey, okay, we're going to stop doing block coding now. We're gonna do half an hour of Python text coding. So the block coding gets converted, and then they can continue in Python coding, because Python coding is a career language. Okay, where did I get to? Where's my virtual environment gone? It was here. It's disappeared.
It's underneath.
It's underneath. No.
Just load it again.
Yeah. Sorry, let me just get the right screen up. Oh, it's right there. And then you tap. Okay. So here we got the water cycle, and we'll switch to another camera as well. So if you have a look at the camera, you've got all these 3D printed water cycle things on. They're pipes, and they've also got these kind of QR codes on them. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click OK here, and I can type in a zip code. So that zip code gets the real weather forecast for that region. So you can put a zip code somewhere else, right? So you could have it in Salt Lake City, or you could have it anywhere, and that'll pull in the real weather patterns forecast for that area. Now, with that weather pattern, what we have here is we have the simulation that then happens. We've got a day-night. We've got speed controls. So in our environment, we've got a lake with fish, and we need to monitor the lake's water purity. So we're going to actually see that in our dashboard. Then we've got these different kind of connection pipes between the lake. So here, blue is representative of an output, so we're sucking water out of the lake, and yellow as an input. So here we've got our water treatment plant. Again, water comes in and water gets cleaned and sent out. A storage tank. Excuse me. Homes and industry is represented by this house. And then agriculture. So we've got all these different zones, and then we've got a sewage treatment plant. Now, what we have to do is this grid pattern here that you see on the screen actually matches our physical grids on here. So if I place a marker, one of these pipes on this environment, you'll see the connecting pipe appearing on connecting something from here. So what we've got to do is keep this environment living and keep this whole environment going, just like our real life. So what's the first thing we need to do? Well, our homes and industry and our cows and agriculture, we need to give them water. Okay. So where are they going to get the water from? Well, the easiest source of water is the lake down here. You right click. Okay, so we've got to take water out of this lake. Okay. Now, can we drink water straight from a lake? No. We have to put it into a filtration system, which I've done there by using this 3D printed marker. So hopefully you can see the video and you can see the screen as well. So once we get the water into the filtration system, then we need to take it out of that. So here you can see on my map, let's change the camera. You can see the lake in the corner, my connector is putting it into there. And now I need to take it out of there and put it into, let's just move this camera.
It's like inputs and outputs.
It is inputs and outputs. Okay, so let me get another one. Okay, I'm going to take that connection, and on the screen, for now moves across, you can see that the output of the clean water treatment plant is now going into another blue.
That looks like an output.
Okay, so I need to move this marker across.
That's it.
And now the water is going into the house. Okay, so let's play that simulation, Renal.
Okay.
So let me just take over here. So you can see the water is being sucked out. You can see the lake level is going down. You can see evaporation happening because it's very sunny. We've got our 14-day weather forecast here. So the lake is going down. Fish are healthy. But look, we have, and if I can zoom into that, we've got this guy's, all the homes and industry sewerage pouring into the ground.
I think you've just drained the lake. Oh no, you have to.
So we have this dashboard that gives us the real state on all the environment. So here we've got how many days we've survived. So we've survived 2 days. But look at our farming and agriculture. Our cows are getting dehydrated, so they're not getting enough water because our storage tank there has no water. Homes and industry is okay, but the lake, the purity of the lake is going down because what's happening is the sewage, the brown water is going into the ground, and that is affecting our lake purity level. And here, the lake's purity is being cleaned by the water treatment plant. And you can see here the minimum purity is 75%. So a clean water treatment plant can only clean the water that's close to being clean. It can't. A sewage treatment plant needs to be used to clean very brown water, dirty water.
So you would have to now put a pipe, basically maybe to put the pipe straight to the sewage tank.
It looks like we died.
Oh dear.
Okay. So why did we die? Well, farming and agriculture here, the cows all died, and if we don't have food, and the crops died. So our farming and agriculture died. We ran out of water, and yeah.
So basically, what we sort of learn from this, and you don't even need to have your robots, it's just sort of connecting the pipe, but it is that whole ecosystem that is sitting on that lesson plan. So this is not only one of the lesson plans for this specific mat. We've got other lesson plans where you use your robots and you code around, and it talks about the different water that you can get, if it's rainwater or lake water, or if it's the sea. So we talk about saltation, and that is in your different lesson plans. So when you go to the learn.kai's education learning portal, you go to Kai Lab, you can see all the lesson plans, and this also for the different grade levels. So if it's a grade level 5 to 6 or 6 to 8 or 9 and 10, all the different lesson plans are there as well. Okay, so Bruce, just go back to this one. So that is Kai Lab. So that got any other questions, Alejandra?
Actually, yeah. Well, first, thank you so much for that inspiring and insightful presentation. It's really truly incredible to see how Kai's education and all of Kai's universe is supporting educators bring robotics to life, right? And just having the students get so engaged into it. We do have a few questions. One, we can start with. How does Kai education fit into an already full school day, and how or what flexibility do teachers have when using Kai bot activities?
Yeah, did you answer that? That's a good question, Liz.
Yeah, no, it's a really good, and I mean, we know it is really just there is so much that you guys are need to trying to do. But so let's start with KaiBot. So KaiBot is not trying to KaiBot is enhancing and really having that greater engagement. And what we've seen, especially even in mainstream for that math in action program, each year level, it's only 3 lessons that they have to do, and they can actually tick the box of computer science as well. So what we really find is that if you want to do anything screen-free, it is just heightening the engagement. So KaiBot is really teaching those fundamentals and really helping engagement drive through neurodiverse students. And then with Kai Lab, what we've seen, and this is really interesting, is actually one of our teachers, Ellen Peterson from Gillette College. We're just about to bring out a little case study on that. And in the past, she has like sort of looked at a microbit, she looked at VR, class VR, she looked at all sorts of other different robots and bringing in little slots. Now what she's doing is she's replacing all those with Kai Lab because it covers everything. You can use your microbit, you've got your VR, you've got your IoT, you've got your different technologies that you can use one product that you can then bring into the STEM space as well.
I mean, like with KaiBot, it's really good because you can just whatever the subject is you're teaching, right? Your daily, like your regular lesson, bringing KaiBot in just heightens that engagement. And we did get we got some math scores out of one of the districts where was it Utah, where the level of math score was like about 20% higher with using KaiBot as opposed to doing a regular math class, right? So whether that's literacy, geography, science, you can bring Kaibot into the fold of your regular lessons without any disruption, but creating a high level of engagement. And we know when we're engaged, we're learning.
Yeah.
Correct. No, it's really great to see how flexible it is to be, it can be applied to a lot of different subjects. We have another question from Amanda. Can Kai Lab be translated by students in any other languages? For example, we have students who speak Spanish, but we also have students who speak Pashto, Arabic, Vietnamese, and among others. Also, does the online interface have speech to text features?
Okay, this is something very close to my heart. Having a UDL approach, Universal Design for Learning approach when developing products. And what this means is that not only do we support multiple languages, but we also support multiple disabilities. So we have a full screen reader support in both our apps and web versions. The robot talks back what tile number it's sitting on, what direction it is. So even if you're totally blind, you can now learn to code. And that shows the significant impact that we're making in the classroom. So it talks back in Spanish. It does talk back in quite a lot of different languages. Some of the languages, like you mentioned here, Arabic, Vietnamese, we haven't got those languages supported yet, but it's very easy for us to add those on.
Yeah, so we've got Spanish, we've got Italian and French at the moment, and we are looking at some of these other languages as well.
And Kaibot also reads back every single coding card that it touches. It reads back everything it does. So it's fully inclusive.
That is amazing. Kind of also answering the next question, which what you pretty much already answered about, like how the platform supports students with different learning styles or abilities. So that is wonderful, wonderful to hear that you thought of everyone, right? We always like to include. I have one more question. This is a question I like to use and ask personally, everybody who we have here on the webinar. What would you say has been one of your most memorable feedbacks that you have received in the years that you have been in business, whether that is from educators, from students, or even from parents, about how Kai's education tools have impacted their not just engagement and collaboration in classrooms, but truly their lives? Because I feel like this really does impact to a level of just learning, not beyond learning.
You do yours, I'll do mine.
Okay, I'll do my story. So my story was, and this was actually a couple of years ago, we started developing with the Braille coding cards. And we had one of the students came in, and he couldn't read Braille, but he had low vision. He had another eye disease that brought him, and he couldn't see very clearly. And we brought him and his mother, and we said, here's the coding cards, here is what we do, you go and try it. And Dante is a keen YouTuber. So he's about 10 years old. He's got his own YouTube channel, and he was sitting here, and his mother said to us, listen, I'm going to bring him in. He's got ADHD. He is, definitely on the spectrum. So let's just schedule like half an hour, and then, see what you can do. Anyway, we showed him the product, and we just left it with him. And he was sitting here, and the engagement, and he worked it out himself. And I was looking at his mother, and this was like 45 minutes, 50 minutes. He hasn't even looked up. And she said that she has never seen him sit down, engage with something for that long. And she was in tears. And she said, you've changed my child's life. And that to me has something been, I'll just never ever forget it. And I think even when we go to conferences, when we do these activities, STEM activities, it's really the time the kids is really the engagement is so much higher. And that's my story. Yeah. What's your story?
Oh, it's quite similar, actually. This is something quite dear to my heart. But when I was testing KaiBot in a classroom of about, I don't know, it was about 20 or so kids. I was just there and table full of robots and coding cards, and it was crazy. Kids were like inundating me, with stuff. And everyone on this table was just super engaged, trying to solve challenges I'd giving them. And what was unusual, there was two identical twins, and you don't see well, I don't see identical twins very often. But and the one boy was engaged very heavily, but in the corner of my eye I saw the other boy, and he was just standing there, and I'm like, hold on, where have I failed that he's not enjoying this product? What have I done that he's not enjoying it? And then I paid a bit more attention, and I realized he was holding a cane and he was blind and he couldn't use it. And it was at that moment that took me back to when I was in the classroom and, being excluded, and then coming back in and coming to our team and saying, hey guys, I really, we're failing our kids, or some of our kids, if we don't make things inclusive. So yeah, that's what I did.
And I actually got a story yesterday, and this was from Ellen because I'm busy working with Ellen at the moment. And what she was telling me, and this was really cool. She was like, so she's using Kai Lab for her CTE program, and she's got some girls in the group. And she said the boys were just sort of like they were the leaders, they were taking over, they were doing the manufacturing and the coding and everything. And this girl, before they started, she wouldn't say anything. She would just do what they tell her to do. And she said by the end of the program, she stood up and she said, now look at my code, and you'll see my code is more effective and it's more efficient and it's a better code. And Ellen was saying, like, this kid has never stood up, but the confidence that she got by testing, by doing it hands-on and actually seeing that her code is a better code than one of the boys were, she had the courage that she could stand up and say that. And I think that's super important. And I'm all for getting more girls into coding, getting more girls into tech. And it doesn't mean taking computer science that you need to become a programmer. But I believe, like any future career, you're going to need to understand some kind of coding.
Correct. No, we 100% believe that as well. And we are just so honored to be partners with companies like Kai's Education that truly understand that and not only make it possible for any student, no matter what their capabilities or abilities are, but it's very inclusive. Um, so we love that. We love hearing those stories. That really is what we do this for, right? To make those differences in that impact. I think that's all the questions we have for right now. I just wanna say what a fantastic discussion it is, and we're so happy that we gave you the floor for this. A huge thank you also for everyone who participated and asked such thoughtful questions. We hope that today's webinar gave you new ideas for bringing robotics, coding, and mixed reality STEM learning into your classrooms with Kai's Education. If you are interested in learning more about Kai's Education, including Kai's Bots, Kai's Lab, you can now that all this can now support all your teaching goals, and you can now find their products at the WhyMaker's website. Also important to mention that WhyMaker is now an approved provider for organizations like the BOCES and NISD in Texas, to mention a few. So we highly encourage you to connect with us to explore what is the to get Kai's Education to your school. And before we wrap up, don't forget to follow WhyMaker and Kai's Education on social media for continued inspiration and classroom resources. And be sure to subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss any upcoming Lunch and Learn webinars. Once again, thank you so much to both of you for this presentation, and for everyone joining us today. We truly appreciate your dedication to empowering the next generation of innovators. And well, with all that, have a beautiful rest of your day. I know it's very early where you guys are right now, so you can rest a little bit. And we hope to see everyone at our next Lunch and Learn webinar.
Thanks, Rob.